Hey guys, Jack from Fantasy Can here, and this is this week's episode of Thot. So what my plan is from now on is to split up like the weekly video into a bunch of different separate videos that are shorter, so it'll be easier for you guys to watch, and you won't have to sit through a whole 10-minute video of just me talking. So we're going to start things off with Thot. We're going to go with quarterbacks first, as always. We're going to look at the hot ones. So to start off, we want to look at Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck has been hot lately just because of what he's been able to put up. He put around 40 points there in week 4, and then around almost 30 in week 5. Depending on what league you're in, obviously it might vary, but at least in the one that I play in normally, he's around there. So Andrew Luck has clearly bounced back, and it's only really a matter of if he's going to stay that way or if he's not. Either way, I think the skill level's there and he's confident, so I think he's going to be putting up some solid points. So if you shouldn't be afraid to start him anymore. His schedule isn't the easiest when it comes to finishing up the year, but he should be fine. And especially if you already have a 2-quarterback system, which I'm assuming you do if you had him earlier, he's definitely a guy that you can use for the rest of the year. Next, I have CJ Beathard in there, and I really only like him for streaming. If he's got a good matchup, I think he's good. For those of you who don't know, he's a 49ers quarterback. I think that he will be solid for the rest of the year, depending on the matchups. First running back to look at is Sonny Michel. That dude just decided to pop off the last 2 weeks, 17 points, becoming a bigger part of the Patriots offense. So it really does make sense for you to pick him up, start him, and I think that right now, if you don't have him starting and you have him on your team, you should really start doing that. Next is Austin Ekeler. He is a backseat role to Melvin Gordon, but they've still found ways to give him the ball, especially when in garbage time. He's the guy that they use for that, so Gordon doesn't get hurt, and he's been doing really consistently good things. So they're going to continue to use him in the offense, and I do feel comfortable starting both Ekeler and Gordon from now on. Wide receivers, Kenny Golladay had a big week last week. I was watching it live, around 100 yards, touchdown. He looked great. I think that he should definitely be a guy that you should start from now on. If you have a spot open in your flex or wide receiver, definitely do it. If you have him on your bench, trade him for someone who you can get, trade him for someone better, especially if it's a redraft league. Dynasty, hold on to him. He got some great players there. Then there's Tyler Lockett, who's been really good as of late. I really don't like him for redraft leagues, though. I don't think he's going to be consistently putting up points because he really hasn't shown that he's like a top-tier wide receiver. I think he's good for Russell Wilson, and that's really about it. But so right now, I think that it's a good idea to keep playing him for this season, but don't expect anything from like dynasty-wise. Don't expect anything from future. Tight ends, put them two together, Eric Ebron and Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham is finally busting on the scene, looking good. He's starting to get some chemistry with Rodgers. They look great. And then Eric Ebron has just been picking it up with Andrew Luck, and if you got him, you got to start him, especially with just how crappy the tight ends are this year. So for Thots, quarterbacks right now, we got Eli Manning to take a look at, and it's just because he really is so inconsistent, and the Giants are just such a mess. I just don't ever really want to start him, so I'm just staying away from Eli Manning and I'm going to consider him a Thot. Then there's Case Keenum, who is relatively on the same boat. Like the Broncos are a little bit of a mess. Their air attack really isn't that good. And he's been so inconsistent. He's had one good week last week, and there's nothing to really think about here. It's like you maybe a streamer, but that's all I would ever do. Isaiah Crowell is absolutely a Thot this year, regardless of what he's been doing. He's been putting up monster numbers like every other game. So he's been incredibly inconsistent, which is what we're looking for in Thots. So he's not someone that you want to stick around with. But if you do have him and you don't have a good flex, I would continuously put him in at your flex spot just because you know that some days you're going to get some big games. Same thing really applies for Kenyon Drake. I don't know what the hell is happening with the Dolphins because one day Drake's looking good, the next Frank Gore is taking a lot of carries and actually putting up points, and it's just all confusing. But I guess it doesn't really matter. All I know is that I don't really want to mess with Kenyon Drake right now. Next Thot to look at is Robbie Anderson because he just hasn't done anything up to this week. Put up 24 points, big catch, and I don't think that we're going to expect anything else coming from him in the future. Last receiver on the list is Amari Cooper, and I hate to say it, but it's just starting to seem like he's a bust. I really like the guy, and I really think he's extremely talented. It's just with the Raiders, I just don't see a future, as of right now at least, because Carr will never throw him the ball, or he's just not doing what he's supposed to do. So I want to stay away from Cooper right now, and I'm not about to start him. Dynasty leagues, I'm holding on to him, yeah, but I'm entertaining trades 100%. I don't think I would really want him for that much longer. I actually don't have any tight ends for Thots this week just because no one really put up good enough numbers, or no one's ever really been to the point where we've questioned whether or not they're good or not, because it's pretty much just if you caught a touchdown like this week, you're going to be one of the top tight ends, and that's just stupid. So there's no thoughts for tight ends, but you guys all get the idea. Anyone who has caught a touchdown like maybe like once or twice in the past like week is considered a thought, unless if they're like one of the top tier tight ends. So that does it for this week's episode of How to Thought. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, check out the website for the full list, and I'll see you guys later.